99.3 Nigeria Info, the sunny side, another work week. Hello and a very beautiful good afternoon to you. The sun rises here. We're radioactive. It's a great, I'm believing it's going to be a great week. It is a great day. At least we're kicking off with everything that feels appealing, that feels good, that feels well. And I'm hoping it gets better for those who don't feel too upbeat. And I hope that oh yeah, that. Well, I was going to say, well, I hope that we fully are able to surmount all our economic problems. But if we're not working towards surmounting it, then, well, your guess is as good as mine. It's 12:33 on the clock. Okay, so another work week, and we're just, of course, gradually sipping into the new year. We're acquainting ourselves with 2025. We're hoping for the best and wishing for the good. And maybe this is me hoping that we are aware that we are the bearers of the good. So whatever good we're looking for has to come by deliberately. Okay, so I don't know if this is even supposed to be a conversation on radio. And I don't want to necessarily make that a conversation because I intended for another conversation. Can I say from here? And I think you know it. I just don't know why it would appear that people who know it do not act on what they know. It's about tankers that fall on the roads. A fuel-laden tanker. About a little over a week, we heard something tragic. Close to 100 deaths. And in my head, I have tried to comprehend the deaths. Like, that's a large number of people. Are they not aware of what it means? Or is it that the burden of poverty overrides common sense? A few days later, I heard somewhere in the East, something similar happened. I saw a video, I don't know how current that video is, but somewhere in the West, I saw another video fell and people went into the gutters scooping fuel. Can I say, please, if you know anyone, if you are around a tanker laden with petrol, diesel, if for some weird turning of fate it falls and you sight it, don't walk away. Run. I want to say that maybe it's that the burden of poverty overruns common sense, and that's why the people who go scooping fuel, they're concerned for fixing the hunger for that day, or maybe they need fuel to power the generator. Maybe they need fuel that they can sell. I honestly think that there is a sensibility behind the action. However dull or very illiterate, however unwise the actions are, I feel that the people who do these things have a sensibility. There's something that's informing the action. But I want to say, particularly if any kinds of those persons may be listening, that sometimes I wonder whether you even care for the consequence. But I think I need to say it. If you're anywhere near a tanker that has fallen and the content is spilling on the floor, please just leave. Please leave. Please run away from that vicinity. Leave. Sometimes I think deaths can be avoided. I just don't understand how the people who should save themselves from danger walk right into it, eyes open. So tell your brothers, tell your friends, and help people who may, for some other instant need, to scoop whatever they think can save them for 2 days. Understand that that pursuit can be the very end of them. Okay, I needed to say that and get that out of the way. All right, 36 minutes past 12. I want to discuss Nigeria in the international scene and how there's been cases of corruption. You know, we haven't even discussed the fact that our president is on the list of the most corrupt leaders. I don't know how to feel about that. Sometimes you want to say, oh, well, maybe you are aware. Maybe it's not such a secret after all. Maybe you're not supposed to be surprised. In my head, I wonder if he cares about such a reputation. Or maybe it's a case of, well, I'm not the only one after all. There's a long list of all of us who are corrupt. I just, for some weird reason, happen to be on the list. Hold that thought. Let's hear what Nigerian Senator Adams Oshomole has to say. I think you should hear it, and then I'll open up the telephone lines. We're Nigeria Info. My name's Joy. 37 minutes past 12.
Those involved in this illegal mining, they use choppers. They procure arms exactly the same way as our military were doing in the South. They give them arms. They use choppers to come and cut away the gold. And they take them out of this country and make billions of US dollars. And the federal government is not doing what it should be doing. I took this letter to the former president when I was national chairman of APC. And I said, call the general to give you more brief. In fact, what is happening, or what subsequently happened in that part of the country, was exactly what the general told me was going to happen. Because these guys have been weaponized by the illegal big men who deploy them, secure territories, and the weapon is meant to protect the Chinese and other foreigners who they actually employ to carry out the mining. And on occasion, they use the same weapon to carry out banditry, kidnapping, and all of the terrible things that are going on. Chief of Committee Chairman of Defense Staff, tell the defense I said so. That some retired military officers, army officers are involved in it. The day we can't tell the truth, this country cannot flourish. We can't change our, when it's affairs of people, we are at our best. We talk strong. Some other people appear to be above the law. That is what is going on with solid mineral. It is not that we don't know where it is. We have a whole survey of where we have what across the length and breadth of Nigeria. We also know, everybody complaining about certain people from certain nationalities. How they got here, even as we are talking now, they are doing those illegal mining. And those guys are getting richer when Nigeria State is getting poorer. But we carry the consequences of banditry, kidnapping, and that which these on illegal armed men, which they equip. Sir, who can afford to buy a chopper to land in an illegal mining site, cut away gold, return to Sediti, and then on the way to airport, bam, take them out of the country? This is happening. So I agree with you, but my position is that we shouldn't, as senators, be lamenting. As senators, we should fix the problem. We should tell the executive, you must deploy exactly the same force that you deploy against illegal oil bunkering. That same force should be deployed to deal with criminals who are money. When I say criminal, it can be a retired general, it can be a retired permanent secretary, it can be a retired trade unionist or a retired labor leader. Whoever is involved, they should be dead. Let Nigeria see that we are not condoning this. We are not lamenting what is going on.
Wow. 99.3 Nigeria Info, you are on the sunny side. If you have just tuned in, I'm so glad that you're there. And I guess once again, in our collective reality, we're going to be talking about this issue of the illegality in society. We're going to be talking about something we may have assumed, because I think illegal mining was said to be the handiwork of the deprived, those who were on the flanks of society, those who had oil in their vicinity and felt that they were impoverished, didn't have jobs. You remember the audio I played you sometime last year was of some miners who said that they were never going to give up mining for any kind of job made available to them by the government, because one, they thought the government had failed them far too long for them to even have any faith in the government. but that a form of security was to work for themselves, to feed and cater to their family themselves. That's one. Two, one of the miners said that it was difficult for their families to find kerosene, that it was them who were responsible for the supply of kerosene. And I thought, okay, so this country sometimes almost confuses you, because you would think that the state who is managing the affairs is handling every facet of demand and supply. But then you hear militants saying, well, they don't supply us kerosene, so we have to create it, and it's a byproduct of this thing you call illegal. And so the people who have access to it are pretty much enjoying the fruit of our labor. Okay, so the audio you just heard was played off of, I got this from Arise Television, and I think in some sense we probably are going to be surprised. In another sense, we are now faced with a problem where maybe we must state it for what it is, or at least ask the government to interrogate it so that the government, one, can have access to its revenues. Two, use the revenues to help society. Three, empower the Nigerian. I guess the biggest question here is, how possible is that? So you just heard Adams Oshiomhole, senator representing Edo North under the APC Congress. He raised serious allegations against the involvement of some military officers and influential figures in illegal mining operations across Nigeria. And please, I would love for you to broaden your reference point when you hear mining, because I don't even think it's just, crude. You can say gold and every other rare mineral that's under the earth on the Nigerian sphere. And we are here talking about hardship, poverty. The government is looking for money. And can we say that it's possible that the government knows? I mean, the government is aware who these people are. Once upon a time, we were talking about Boko Haram and kidnapping, the killing, and the upsetting of settlers by foreign agents, according to the government. But on one hand, we call them foreign agents. But we've also heard reports that say the locals know who these people are. And somehow the government has been in this eternal war of trying to they're still in it. They haven't quite won yet, but they say they're making advances, and God knows we need a lot more of those advances, those gains against kidnapping and the militants who just kill people for no cause. Okay, now you come to illegal mining. I was also going to highlight the fact that we weren't sure that the government knew until we gained some sense that the government must be aware of those responsible. We came to some sense that the government must know the people who are behind these ills, particularly when it comes to Boko Haram and these terrorists that has been in the news for years. Okay, can we say the government is not aware of what's happening in the mining sector? And I guess the question is, so what's the government doing? Is the government aware? Because maybe the reason we're gathered here today is because the government is not aware. And as such, this conversation is one way to make the government aware. And then we're going to wait for government to come forward and do something about this. Let's talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info, the sunny side. Adams Oshiomhole makes both. And he says, quote me, these are my words. If they can prove me wrong, it will be my pleasure. End quote. Well, that's me paraphrasing. He's raising serious allegations of the involvement of some military officers. Now, you know why this is both funny and crazy is because if you had a problem at that level, you would call in the military, right? Oh, so at this point, who do you call? The sun rises here. My name's Joyce. We're 99.3. This is Nigeria Info. We're radioactive. Welcome to the sunny side.
Activate. Activate. We are radioactive on 99.3 Nigeria Info. My name is Joyce.
Good afternoon to you. Sorry I lost you. Please make it back. Nigeria Info. Hello. Good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for being here.
Hello.
Thank you very much for calling. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. This is B.A. Akimbo calling from Iba.
Great to have you.
Yes, thank you very much. You see, we cannot say government does not know these people. If you remember, the present minister of in charge of that ministry, Dele Alake, did tell Nigerians that those involved in illegal mining are powerful Nigerians. And also the president himself at the time also told us that those benefiting from subsidy in this country are the elites of the elites. The thing is, who are these people? Why can't government go after them? The problem in this country is that some people are being treated as sacred cows. And the moment we continue to sweep certain things under the carpet, we cannot get it right. These people are human beings. Those in government know them. Why can't they go after them? If Dele Alake is telling Nigerians that those that are in charge of illegal mining are powerful Nigerians, are they more powerful than the federal government of this country? And can't government, develop the political will and go after these people? It's unfortunate we are just moving in circles, and that will never lead us anywhere. Thank you and have a lovely day.
Thank you very much for calling. I sincerely do apologize. Hello, good afternoon to you. My name's Joyce. What's your name? Hello, good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for being here. Hello, welcome.
Hello, Joyce.
Thank you very much for calling. Turn up the volume of your radio set.
Yeah, good afternoon. The Oshimole himself, all of them are just deceiving themselves. How come Oshimole couldn't mention the name of the generals who are doing all these things, importing arms? How come? The Dele Alake himself, who said he wants to be in charge of the mining or whatever. How many months now? Almost 1 year plus. What has he done? You are telling us a powerful Nigerian. You see why I always talk about this strong institution, which we don't have. We have strong men, rather than strong institution. Trump wants to do certain things. A judge, stop him. But in Nigeria, will it happen? You are talking about the executive. You are part of them, a senator. How come he didn't mention the name of those generals coming to tell us story? Let all of them keep on deceiving themselves. We all are in for it, Joyce. Thank you.
99.3 Nigeria Info, you on the sunny side. Hello, welcome.
Good afternoon, Joyce.
Afternoon to you. Thank you so much for being here.
My name is Robert.
Welcome, Rob.
Joyce, it is very painful that my own state, that is Delta State, I am from Misopa, South and North. The government of Nigeria was small through Saipan. When we plant cassava, you will see big something, but now when you go there, very small finger. Nigeria has been feeding on this thing right from when I was small up to today. And there's no hope leaving that thing tomorrow. And some people are somewhere in Zamfara, mining gold, mining other resources for themselves, not for the interest of Nigeria. Is it not painful? That's why those guys the other time they carry arm and they say, okay, let us control our resources. Nigeria is not one; it's divided. Some people are, serving their own interests at the expense of other people. And when you talk of this security of it, is it not painful that you send soldiers, young soldiers that just finish NDA, military, whatever, you send them to the war front to go and confront Boko Haram, to go and confront insurgency, and they get key at the expense of their family. Even the ones that are not married, they get key. And some powerful men, according to Shomole, military men that are behind the supply of weapons. How do we, is this Nigeria a country? I don't know. And the government is not strong enough to say, okay, let us meet these people that are doing this thing to the board, and we'll be budgeting billions of naira to insecurity every year. I know how much they budgeted for defense this year. And next year, they will repeat itself. Yeah, see, Joy, honestly, this is not a country. I'm very sorry to say so. Thank you very much.
99.3 Nigeria Info, you're on the sunny side. This is a very interesting way to look at the corruption, because somewhere in this is a question: is our government silent Or is our government maybe even corrupt? The sunny side. Welcome. How are you?
Hello?
Are you ready?
Good morning.
When you call in, turn off the volume of your radio set. Nigeria Info, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you, Lady J.
Welcome. Thank you so much for calling. Tell us your name. Go ahead.
Well, you had a wonderful weekend.
I'm grateful that I did have a peaceful one.
Yeah. And look at my name from Satellite Town.
Welcome, Emeka.
The issues of this nature will never end. We will never stop having discussions of this nature in this country. Because like the late Obafemi Awolowo, the late Sarge described in US, said this is just a country, a geographical expression. So it is difficult to get a leader who will be corrupt-free enough, who will have the moral latitude to go after those that need to be taken care of for this country to move forward. The issue of illegal mining, akin to that of illegal oil bunkering, is something that has continued to hold this country down for years. While that of illegal oil bunkering is being met with force, that the one that is happening in the north is being treated with kid blows, where gold and other mineral deposits that the north is richly blessed with is being handled by a few, select few. And you ask the question, is it that the government doesn't know these people? Not that they don't know them. It's all about political will to go after these people. Ask yourself, where is that list of sponsors of terrorism in this country? What has happened to that list hitherto? How come we do not know them? And like Mr. Chris mentioned, Adam Soshomola, who's talking, if he knows those people who are behind those illegal mining, why not name and shame them? I think it's high time we revisit this constitution that we're operating and see if true federalism, I think it's time for us to start practicing true federalism. Let there be regional development, let there be resource control. Let every region be allowed to manage their resources in a true federalism. Let us see if the state will continue, because every section of this country, every region of this country is blessed with their own resources. So you cannot be taking what is from the south to develop the north, or moving what is from the west to develop the east, or from east to develop the west. Let us revisit this constitution and see if by the time we devolve powers to the regions, let them manage their resources accordingly. Let's see if their own people will keep quiet and watch those few elites continue to siphon their God-given resources to their own detriment. Because it's obvious every successive government comes to power and they tell you there are powerful people in their government that are doing this. There are powerful people in the government that are doing this. The question is, who is more powerful than the president and commander-in-chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria?
Pardon me, I must be off on a break at this moment. You may call me back if that's fair to you.
It's okay. It's okay.
More talk, news, and sports after this. It's 2025. The biggest conversations are happening on Hard Facts.
If the model of Rebolo was genuinely interested in local government forms, would have protested to be cancelled.
Somebody is receiving 30,000 naira after serving the country for 5 years.
From the stories shaping Nigeria's future.
And the dumping my mood further whenever people are clapping, he's praise singers when they ought to be telling him the truth.
I mean, he did not do any remarkable thing in your state, and you are celebrating corruption time.
Real-time feedback from you, the citizens.
There is propaganda. They can never make it work. I will not support that tax reform.
If NBS is turning out very fake data to us, because this data lacks empirical evidence.
We dig deep with the decision makers, hold the powerful accountable, and keep the conversation alive on social media. Join Mary Ann Okon every Monday to Friday, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. for the most interesting news and current affairs show on radio.
I'm so sorry. I hate it when people make assertions from very skewed and biased places.
Hard Facts on Nigeria Info 99.3. Let's talk.
Hey, this dollar wahala now, wow. Everything just dey expensive. Na true, but make we look am well, my brother. See, your shoe na from Italy, your shirt na from Turkey, your phone na from China, your car na from Japan. In fact, everything wey dey your body so na import to the import am. I beg you, how that one take consign dollar? If price of dollar go come down, e get many things where we supposed to. Like wetin? Number one, we suppose dey export pass how we dey import. Number two, we suppose dey buy more made in Nigeria products. Number three, make we support local business. And number four, if you want send dollar and other foreign currency enter Nigeria, make we dey use international money transfer agents. Hey, what you dey talk dey make sense o. Oh, country people, make we join hands with the pressure on our naira, grow our export market, and increase forex inflow. Now our hand e dey o. This message now from Bankers Committee.
99.3 Nigeria Info, your number one station for talk. Let's talk.
We're radioactive. 99.3 Nigeria Info. It's about 3 minutes before we touch down 1 p.m. Welcome. My name is Joyce, and I'm taking your commentary on what appears to be an allegation against retired top military officials. On the other side of the hour, we're going to quickly look back into something Delia Lake made public in 2023, and then further the chat from there. My name's Joyce. Welcome to the sunny side. We're Nigeria Info. Thank you very much for calling.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for being here. I do appreciate. Tell us your name, please, and you can go ahead. Okay, you're ready.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for calling.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Tell us your name, please, and go ahead.
Hello. Hello.
I'm with you. Thank you for calling. Tell us your name and go ahead.
My name is Samuel Aluko.
Go ahead, Sam.
I'm calling from a side.
Thank you.
You see, I want to open Nigeria citizen high to one good fact that everybody didn't know. You know, when we talk of Buhari, Obasanjo, Tinubu, see, Joyce, these are not the people ruling Nigeria. Nigeria is being ruled from outside. All this our president who said president didn't have the political will to do. Come, president hasn't got, he has no power over the cabal and this elite. They are greater than any president in Nigeria. So this is when government get their hands in illegal mining or anything, government cannot do anything. Because these people are working for their masters in Europe. Let me ask you one question. Britain has the highest gold reserve in the whole world. Did Britain have gold deposit in Britain? Where do they get those gold from? They get it from their proxies from Africa. And whoever is the president, you cannot touch these people. You try to touch them.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to interrupt you. I want to quickly go off on a break. I would love for you to please call back and finalize your speech, all right?
In the midst of it all.
In the midst of it all.
We talk to inform.
Talking about politicians, I have a story on not trail closure of broadcast stations by Zamfara government.
Be part of the conversation around the clock.
These guys, everything is interwoven.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Your number one station for talk.
Activate. We are radioactive on 99.3 Nigeria Info. My name is Joyce.
What's that station again?
Oh yeah, Campbell, go back. Like, here's one thing you need to know about yourself. So like here we they talk.
Yep, bullseye. That's the one.
You're listening to 99.3 Nigeria Info's The Sunny Side. The Sunny Side. Welcome. My name's Joyce. If news is your quest, or gist your request, well, somewhere over your rainbows.
Over your rainbow!
Is the sunny side.
They better know it!
With Joyce.
Let's talk.
Thank you so much for being there with us. 99.3 Nigeria Info, the sunny side. My name's Joyce. It's about 2 minutes past 1 p.m. Okay, so I think I want to... The last caller, I really hope he'll call back. I really do appreciate... Hello, sir? Are you there? Okay, I may have lost him. Just before we continue the conversation, I want to quickly share. Oh, I did say I was going to share with you something Dele Alake said, and this was reported. Let me see, I want to get the actual date. Can I find it? 2024? Okay, good. So, the Minister of Solid Minerals, Dele Alake, said, quote, some powerful Nigerians involved in illegal mining, that they are the ones sponsoring banditry and terrorism in the country, end quote. Can we take that again? So this appears to be a situation where the government is aware and maybe, just maybe, look, in the absence of the government putting up a solid resistance against it, it's fair assumption to say maybe the government also has a foot in the game, or maybe the government has both legs in the game. He says powerful Nigerians are involved in illegal mining and that they're the ones sponsoring banditry and terrorism in the country. This is the part where I think my last caller may truly have something we may need to consider by way of conversation this afternoon. I'm going to just quote it the way it's reported by channels. Alake also revealed that foreigners are among those engaging in illegal mining in the country. He called on the federal government to pay close attention to the mining sector, which would take in trillions, or which was taking trillions from the country annually. Dele Alake's rough estimation suggests that whatever was leaving the country was in trillions. Now, if you go to IMF e-library, there is a breakdown of capital flight. And just for what it's worth, can I really just quickly give you this? Oh, I wish I could. Hold on. I need to give it to you just so that we... Okay, good. I found it. Capital flight. And I'm hoping this is not the first time you're hearing it. But I'm going to first read it in your hearing the way the IMF e-library captures it. Okay, so they say capital flight refers to short-term capital outflow. It involves hot money that responds to political or financial crisis, heavier taxes, a prospective tightening of capital controls, a major devaluation of domestic currency, or actual or incipient hyperinflation. And so if you're just hoping that all of that is summarized in simple terms, let me be the one to help you out. So capital flight is pretty much summarized as unreported acquisition of assets by non-bank private sector and elements of public sector. You get it, right? Non-reported. They're capital, but not reported. Okay, so the only way this can give you a vague picture is if we can just quickly Google how much capital flight leaves Nigeria. So basically, your capital flight that leaves the country would be your capital, say gold, crude, all the other mineral resources, rare metals, and all of that. Because those are the things you have as capital that you sell to make money. IMF e-library says capital flight from Nigeria was $28.8 billion. Was. Now we don't even know, because I guess they pretty much may have to find the bad guys, estimate how much they're taking out of the country illegally, and put some figure to that. Was $28.8 billion. So there is certainly truth in what Dele Alake is saying when he says that trillions leave the country annually. Okay, but you know what's even very interesting? What I find interesting is how a sitting senator is saying, oh, but we know what's happening. The question is, does the government know what's happening? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Nigeria Info. The sun rises here. My name's Joyce. Here.
Mining, they use choppers, they procure arms exactly the same way as our military were doing in the south. They give them arms, they use choppers to come and cut away the gold, and they take them out of this country and make billions of US dollars. and the federal government is not doing what it should be doing. I took this letter to the former president when I was national chairman of APC, and I said, call the general to give you more brief. In fact, what is happening, or what something really happened in that part of the country, was exactly what the general told me was going to happen. Because these guys have been weaponized by the illegal big men who deploy them, secure territories, and the weapon is meant to protect the Chinese and other foreigners who they actually employ to carry out the mining. And on occasion, they use the same weapon to carry out banditry, kidnapping, and all of the terrible things that are going on. Chief of Committee Chairman of Defense Staff, tell the defense I said so. That some retired military officers, army officers are involved in it. The day we can't tell the truth, this country cannot flourish.
Do you understand? However vaguely your comprehension, do you understand what's happening here? I must admit, sometimes I find the conversations that I must bring to you even tiring for me. I find it particularly exhausting psychologically. I find the repetition of it painfully insulting that we just have to sit down here every day as Nigerians and talk about the same thing over and over again. So maybe I'm the one who's a little impatient with the process. Can we honestly say that our government is not aware? And as such, this revelation by Nigerian Senator Adams Oshiomhole is probably cue for where the government should go looking for those who transport capital flight out of this country annually to the rough estimated tune of $22.8 billion. Do you understand the consequence of that is that you'll be double taxed? And well, as you now have it, your naira is devalued. So you would we're paying 5 times more for what we used to buy at a set price a year and a half ago. Let's talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info. My name's Joyce. Welcome. 9 minutes past 1 p.m. You're on the sunny side. Hello, good afternoon to you, Nigeria Info. Thank you so much for calling.
Hello, Joyce.
Thank you so much for being here.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon to you. Welcome, Emmanuel. Good.
Joyce, if we want to be honest with ourselves, if you say there are some powerful Nigerians, who are doing this, except people in authority who have the power, to intervene, arrest, and prosecute, are complicit. That is why you want to take those powerful Nigerians into custody. The Senate president is number 3 according to hierarchy of power. We've seen Senate presidents being impeached, in this country. The Chief Justice of Nigeria is number 5 according to hierarchy of power. We also saw how Justice Onoge was disgraced out of office. Which people can be more powerful than these people I just mentioned? Except maybe the president. Not even the vice president in some instance. So if you can't take these people into custody, it means you are complicit. And again, when we talk about maybe the DSS, the NIA, the Military Intelligence Agency, you see, one thing I've believed so far in this country is that there is a level you get to in this country that files can be pulled out, from decks that could implicate you. So it will want to make you sit back a bit in terms of intervening in some instance. That is why you will see these people, who will be, it's just a kind of a mythical, untouchable stuff. It's not as if they are untouchable, but if you touch me, I touch you. That is what is happening in this country. That is why you see these miners, going to this thing, and it seems nothing is happening, because people who are supposed to do something, also can be disgraced because they also have skeletons in their cupboard. And again, I'm surprised because it seems something wanted to change, in terms of Dele Alake, coming into that ministry. But unfortunately, he came into that ministry and it's business as usual. In fact, he is one of the dullest ministers in terms of the ministers in the country presently. So it's unfortunate. Right. So for Adams Oshiomhole, he's saying the truth, but who is going to do something about it? Because even other social media today, if push comes to shore, there are some fights, that will be put out that will implicate him. We also have, he was the regardless of office in terms of national chairmanship of APC. So it is Nigeria. It seems we are all helpless.
All right.
That is what I have to say.
Thank you very much for calling. I sincerely do appreciate you. On the sunny side, my name's Joyce. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Joyce.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for calling.
Yeah, on to some radar.
Welcome. Go ahead.
Trust you had a lovely weekend.
I did. Thank you.
Joyce, don't you sometimes get headache from discussing Nigerian issues? Because our problems are not complicated. They are simple. Everything happening in this country, we have an idea. We know what happened. Yeah, a video surfaced 2-3 weeks ago of a Chinese national who was, I think the NDLA they were trying to arrest him, and we saw a military personnel preventing an arrest. What does that tell you? You said?
Please go ahead. I'm with you. Please go ahead.
Okay. What does that tell you? The corruption is deep. It's deeper than you think. During Buhari's government, you heard what he said. That state was declared no flight zone. What does that tell you? A state without, an airport. Plane take off, they land and take off, and land and take off. What does that tell you? The rot is deep. Your generals make money from this insecurity. The ones that overstayed their time, didn't they go and build school? One of them was said to have built a university. Where did the money come from? Where you hear the Navy arm of the military saying they want to support they want to join the other two arms in fighting insecurity. What does that tell you? They want to join. They want to share from the big cake now. So it's whatever is going on in this country. We all have an idea. It's chop by chop. Do you understand, George?
I'm with you. I'm following what you're putting there.
So there's nothing will happen. The land where they have this mining, some of those part of those lands are owned by past presidents. They give his license to these foreigners to come and mine. Why do you think you have this surge of insecurity?
That's exactly what Dele Alake told us. That
the thing is, he should just sorry about it. He should just shut up. See, Joyce, imagine Lagos State. Half of it is owned by a former president. So what happens? Who has a say over it? He imports whoever wants to come and mine. They mine at their own. The sad thing is that just as fuel is part of as a national whatever, these resources are not registered in the treasury. They are just being siphoned, mined by personnel, the echelon in this country. So it's deeper than it is. There's a level that this man cannot go. They will come for him as Shomole. He cannot mention. Do you understand? When your president was trying, when he wants to, he's securing his seat by satisfying the generals. He said the generals will not be investigated or whatever as they retire. And he's providing them with bulletproof what's it called, cars. What are you trying to tell? What are you trying to tell us? Do as you like. As far as I'm here, don't cross that line. They know what's happening now.
Thank you so much for calling. I really do appreciate it. Thank you.
Right.
The sunny side. Now we hear, at least from the minister himself, or at least I would say we've heard it, but now we've heard it again, that foreigners are involved. And whoever these list of men are, they're not only taking away money from this country, which is referred to as capital flight, but they are also funding insecurity and banditry. It makes you want to peel your face, because every time we're gathered here, we count the number of people who have died in that state, we count the number of people that died in that other state. We've been doing this for years. We're like blind, clueless people with troubles we don't even comprehend. But the government keeps telling us that they're working on it, that they're fighting it. I'm out of words. Maybe you have something to say, and that's why we're here today to talk on Nigeria Info. Hello, Nigeria Info. So good to have you join the conversation. Thank you so much for calling.
Hello, Joyce. Good afternoon.
Afternoon to you.
Welcome. I thought you went on holidays. Thank God you did not go on leave.
What's your name? Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Joyce, before Tinubu took over, should you remember that this thing was in exclusive list before. It was Buhari that came and removed it from exclusive list. You understand? Mining of things in the soil, gold and all these things, apart from crude that is in the Niger Delta. Buhari came and removed it from the exclusive list, and individuals could get access and now mine it. He was protecting his own interest and his allies. Look at what's happening now. The other time, FBI gave us intelligence that it is China that supply terrorists, Boko Haram, arms, and bandits to protect by their mine our natural resources illegally. And this thing has been going on. It has been going on and on and on. Even the past governors in Zamfara State, they are aware of it. You see this present governor of Zamfara, when he was declaring his assets, he had 9 trillion. And people were saying why he declared 9 trillion was because that is what he anticipated to get from illegal mining. You can see that every region, anywhere, this insecurity is too much. They are mining illegally there. So insecurity in the north is all about illegal mining. Look at Sabisa Forest. They are mining black diamond there. And look at what is happening. Go at the heart of Sabisa Forest, you will see that illegal mining is going on. I used to ask, why is it that all the Chinese that are in the forest mining our gold and natural resources? Why is it that Boko Haram doesn't kidnap them? Bandit doesn't kidnap them? Why is it that Pule doesn't touch them? Even when the military are overshooting and shooting and killing innocent civilians mistake by mistake, why is it that you cannot hear that 10 Chinese die in the forest? Nobody know and hear anything about them. Do you know that there is God in Oshu? There is God in Niger. All these places, especially Niger, there is insecurity, serious insecurity there. And the main truth of the whole matter now is that our federal government is aware of it. They are 100%. If Mr. President says enough is enough today, everything will stop. Immediately, Tinubu took over. They arranged $5 million worth of gold with the Niger governor. They went to Tinubu and presented to him. Tinubu was very happy. That was the end we hear about gold, Niger. And the illegal mining is going on. Gold are leaving that region. Every day gold is leaving. Look at it. All this region, illegal mining is going on in Nigeria. They are the poorest in infrastructure, in everything. Their citizens are dying of hunger. If you go to Zamfara now, they are eating leaves to survive. They cannot even go to their farm to access farmland. The farmers are managed to go to their farmland now. They pay revenue to terrorists. Our God is the most beautiful God, the best in Switzerland. Our God is the best in Dubai. And we are suffering here. Look at this 2025 budget. They overtax us and overtax us in order to fund the budget. Why can't they fund the budget with this thing? Why can't, if you know that he's fighting claim, why can't he remove it from concurrent and put it in exclusive where it was before, so that they will mine it the same way they are mining crude oil in the Niger Delta, and the money will enter into our purse. And this one is the best and the most the best and the most lucrative thing that can enter the purse of the rest GDP to federal government, because there is nothing like OPEC giving us a target. So this is your portion. This is the benchmark that you can supply only 1.8 million barrels of crude. This one, even if you can supply 100 tons or 1 million tons of every day, in as much as you mine it in your country, you can supply it. Why are we like this in this country?
Thank you so much for calling. I really
the only thing that will help us is that the person that wins the election should be ruling this country, so that he can fight corruption. That is the thing. Anybody that does not win an election cannot fight corruption. God bless you.
99.3 Nigeria Info, you're on the sunny side. Hello, welcome to the show. What's your name?
Good afternoon, Joyce.
Afternoon, thank you. Tell us your name, go ahead.
Yeah, one from Australia.
Yeah.
I like his own
Tell us your name and go ahead, real quick.
So, see now, somebody has said the truth. Who is going to implement the truth? The president of Nigeria, Anumbo. So it's for him. Remember, I said before that what is by doing anything because everybody is involved. It's to make a fool. The name is Ozemekina. Let's move to Kiruka to close that.
Hello? Sorry, I lost you. Skype caller, thank you so much for your patience. I do appreciate. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from. Go ahead.
Hey Joyce, how you doing?
Good,
Sugar Daddy
thank
calling
you.
from Ontario, Canada.
Good to
How
have you.
are you feeling?
I am good, thank
Trust
you.
your bet.
I am. Thank you.
At this point, everybody's sounding like a broken record. We're all saying the same thing. We're saying the same thing. What is what is the way forward? With these politicians, I would rather they don't say it at all without telling us the names. If you have names, forward the names. Because those in the army or whoever, the high-ranking politicians, these are the politicians you will never see on the TV. You will never see them spraying money. They are secretly just sitting back, eating and just watching and pulling the strings behind the scene. But nobody wants to do anything. Everybody knows the problem, but nobody wants to bail the cat. Choice at this point, I don't see anybody with a good reputation fixing Nigeria. We need somebody bad, somebody that at the end of the day, is high-ranking, whoever, they fear so much that at the end of the day, because anybody that at this point that has something to lose, whether they lose their family, lose their kids, they would not want to do anything. And let me tell you what will happen in the future if this continues. This thing started in the south, like everybody keeps saying. It has moved to the north. Guess what will happen next time? It will move to the east, it will move to the west. And at this point, Nigeria categorically is already being considered by most Western countries as a failed state or a failing state. And at this point, sooner or later, we would eventually have to break down because nobody is willing to give. The government is not willing to fix the problem. The government is not really willing to reduce their expenses. Rather, they want to keep squeezing the people. Sooner or later, somebody would have to give. And my fear is that at the end of the day, it's the people that would eventually have to suffer for this. At this point, I don't see why everybody keep telling us the obvious, what we know already. Call the names. If you are not willing to call the names, then don't even come out and say anything at all.
All right.
If at the end of the day you want to push for regional governance, why don't we start pushing for that? Let every region handle their own, because that's what most developed economies are doing. Every state or region controls their own resources. Ontario is known for manufacturing and automotive. Alberta is known for oil. Everybody everywhere has their own benefits. Same way gas prices is more expensive here in Ontario. Calgary, or Alberta, where oil is produced, is cheap. Housing is cheap there, but housing is more because every region has what they sell and what they give priority to. I just don't understand why is it that our own situation, it has to be complicated. It has to be one. Somebody will be saying it's one demon somewhere. Somebody will be saying it's one spiritual wherever. Germany that actually killed Jews, the actual people that God called their own. They are one of the richest economy in this. It's high time we take our heads out of the ground and at least tackle this our problem head on, rather than trying to give excuses or trying to point fingers without actually pointing fingers or naming names. If they are not willing to name names, please, everybody should all keep quiet and do whatever they have to do and get out of there. Thanks, Joyce.
Thank you. 99.3 Nigeria Info, the sunny side. We're going to quickly go off on a break. We'll be back. You are listening to Nigeria Info. My name's Joyce. Don't go anywhere.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We'll be right back.
For 3 decades, Chocolat Royale has been at the heart of your sweetest celebrations. From flaky croissants to decadent cakes, we've proudly served moments of joy, love, and togetherness. Here's to 30 years of baking with passion, creativity, and care. Made possible by you, our cherished customers. Thank you for letting us be a part of your lives, one delicious bite at a time. It's these moments that make the 30-year journey so meaningful. Whether it's a wedding cake, a warm loaf of bread, or a simple muffin shared with a friend, Chocolat Royale is about bringing people together. It's thanks to customers like you that we've been able to grow and evolve, striving to deliver the quality and service you deserve. Your feedback and encouragement inspires us to keep improving every day. Thank you for choosing us and for being a part of our community. We look forward to serving you for many more years to come. It's 2025. The biggest conversations are happening on Hot Facts.
If Mondo Kwebolo was genuinely interested in local government funds, would have protested to be cancelled.
Somebody is receiving 30,000 naira after serving the country for 5 years.
From the stories shaping Nigeria's future.
And he don't put my mood further whenever people are clapping, he's praising singers when they ought to be telling him the truth.
I mean, he did not do any remarkable thing in your state, and you are celebrating corruption.
To real-time feedback from you, the citizens.
There is propaganda. They can never make it work. I will not support that tax reform. If NBS is turning out very fake data to us because this data lacks empirical evidence.
We dig deep with the decision makers, hold the powerful accountable, and keep the conversation alive on social media. Join Mary Ann Okon every Monday to Friday, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. for the most interesting news and current affairs show on radio.
I'm so sorry. I hate it when people make assertions from very skewed and biased places.
Hard Facts on Nigeria Info 99.3. Let's talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Your number one station for talk. Let's talk. Let's talk.
News is your quest, or gist your request.
Yeah!
Well, somewhere over your rainbows.
Over your rainbow!
Is the sunny side.
They better know it!
With Joyce.
Let's talk.
Let me quickly remind you that you can win 25,000 naira today. You know what to do, right? oneplay.ng *347 *880 *3 hash. Before the sun sets, I draw and I give. Well, if I don't give it to you, best believe you're going to be called up with your money, and that's as soon as possible. 25,000 naira up for the taking. You play. It's 500 naira every time you play. You play as many chances as you are willing to stake. Right? Good. Remember to game. You win, you lose. Fine. So if you can't afford to lose, then maybe you shouldn't attempt this one. Otherwise, good luck. Okay. Good. Now, the rest of us who want a better Nigeria but are tired of talking about all the solutions that appear to just write themselves on the stars are back here again today talking about what we had suspected. It's just that now it's coming from a senator, and then one wonders, oh, wait, then the government must know about it. This cannot be new revelation. This is not just news. The government must know. Because, you know, Adams Oshiomhole asked a question. He was like, who can afford a chopper? Who's the one who's able to afford a chopper that lands at a mining site? Remember, if it's a chopper, somebody's clearing it. Anything in your airspace is being controlled somewhere. So the official body let me not say the name, but I'm going to just paint you a very good picture so you know who I'm talking to. The official body in charge of the things that fly in the sky must know. So they may not know the details as to what's in there, but don't you think immigration would know? Because at least they'll search, right? Okay, good. Maybe they don't. The government doesn't when you see a foreign chopper land somewhere. Like at this point, you know what's tiring for me? I have to do this. It's a job, right? Okay. Maybe you're not so tired. Let me quickly remind you what Oshiomhole had to say. Nigerian senator accuses retired military officers of being involved in illegal mining activities. Dele Alake told us about a little over a year ago that it's not just Nigerians, they're foreigners too. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what you think it is. Okay, but first, just hear this.
Away the gold, and they take them out of this country and make billions of US dollars. And the federal government is not doing what it should be doing. I took this letter to the former president when I was national chairman of APC. And I said, call the general to give you more brief. In fact, what is happening or what subsequently happened in that part of the country was exactly what the general told me was going to happen. Because these guys have been weaponized by the illegal big men who deploy them, secure territories, and the weapon is meant to protect the Chinese and other foreigners who they actually employ to carry out the mining. And on occasion, they use the same weapon to carry out banditry, kidnapping, and all of the terrible things that are going on. chief of committee chairman of defense staff, tell the defense I said so. That some retired military officers, army officers are involved in it. The day we can't tell the truth, this country cannot flourish. We can't change our, when the best of people, we are at our best. We talk strong. Some other people appear to be above the law. That is what is going on with solid mineral. It is not that we don't know where it is. We have a whole survey of where we have what across the length and breadth of Nigeria. We also know, everybody complaining about certain people from certain nationalities. How they got here, even as we are talking now, they are doing those illegal mining. And those guys are getting richer when Nigeria states are getting poorer. But we carry the consequences of banditry, kidnapping, and that thing, which these on illegal armed men, which they equip. Sir, who can afford to buy a chopper to land in an illegal mining site, cut away gold, return to Sediti, and then on the way to airport, bam, take them out of the country? This is happening. So I agree with you, but my position is that we shouldn't, as senators, be lamenting. As senators, we should fix the problem. We should tell the executive, you must deploy exactly the same force that you deploy against illegal oil bunkering. That same force should be deployed to deal with criminals who are money. When I say criminal, it can be a retired general, it can be a retired permanent secretary.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Hello.
Hi, Lady J. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for calling. Tell us your name. Go ahead, please.
Mrs. Oboli calling from Ikorodu.
Good to have you.
Welcome. It's a pity that those who are saddled with enforcing law and order in this country are also the ones who are breaking it. They are also the ones breaking the same said law, mining by the high and mighty. Of course, it's no gainsaying it, that the political elites in this land, they are unstoppable, they are untouchable. You can't touch them because we continue to sound like a broken record, Lady J. They are the one enforcing the law. How can you touch the man at the top? How can you touch the man under him? They are all drinking from the same cup and eating from the same table. Can a criminal investigate, prosecute, or bring to book another criminal? The answer is no. One thing that is quite certain is the fact that without mincing words, no foreigner can step into the shores of this country to mine without receiving approval from top officials. That is quite certain. I can't say same for our own people, though. You certainly can't go outside in the Western world to do the same thing. It's a slap on our face. It's a pity, and it's a shame that we allow this trend go on unabated. So now, who wants to prosecute who? Is it the man at the top that they said is also part of the people that, in fact, they said is, I think when you were saying your brief this afternoon, you said is one of the corrupt people or presidents.
Yeah, there was a list. There was a list that made it out, and they put his name there. And I think
Lady J, he should top that list for all I care.
Yeah, but you see, so you're thinking he's the worst guy, but you see, you don't know the other guys. I know Shomole is trying to let you know that there are other guys, and these are so powerful that it appears even Dele can't even do anything about them.
So I am thinking he's the worst guy, and I feel there are other worst guys under him. And some people have even called him this afternoon to say that there are even worse guys even above him, the cabals. Lady J, who are the cabals?
Hold on a second. You know why you need to evaluate that? Because he just got in over a year ago. So this is not a new development. That's why he may not be the worst guy. That's my point. And this is not even me trying to hold court for him. He just got in like 1 hour ago, right? And it's been happening.
Lady J, are you saying, now let me ask you a straight question, that your president does not know who the cabals are?
Well, that's why I made this a conversation. You tell me.
Beautiful. He knows. Can you sit on the presidency seat, Lady J, even as a woman, even as the kind of person you are, so motivated, so focused, Lady J, and somebody who come from somewhere else come and steer the ship where you are boss? You won't take it. I myself, I won't take it. It's either I leave, I resign, or I won't even assume that power. So People like that, I would say, if you can't allow me steer this ship and not taint my name in the mud, my prestige is what is so setting, so sure for me. If you can't have such people, so spirited-minded people, Lady J, who keep on going in a vicious circle.
Right.
I have known you for over how many years now? You're somebody that if you're sitting atop a table, atop a chair, if you cannot steer that ship, you would rather quit and say you can't do this than people coming there to stain or taint your image. Except to get to that level in this country, Lady J, nothing will move. Nothing will happen. If I had the balls to go and mine now, do you know they will put my face on the paper and say, so person, a nobody has come to mine, and they will catch me ASAP. So these people will not be caught because everybody from the past government to the pastest government to this present one, they are all hands in glove, mining, corrupting, doing everything to steal the public funds, the commonwealth of this country, and nothing will happen because they are neck deep, head deep, so deep, intestine deep in corruption. I rest my case.
Thank you so much for calling. We have some information we want to share with you real quick. We're coming back. There's a message I want to read, but I don't know whether he's dissing us because he doesn't quite speak to the problem. But first, you should hear this, and we'll be right back to the chat.
A child's gift makes way for him and brings him before great men. Parents, teachers, and schools, bring your talented young singers between the ages of 5 to 10 to test their might this year in the Children Can Sing competition. Children are the heritage of God and the future of our tomorrow. Let us give them the opportunity of a lifetime. Application for this competition is free. You can pick up your application form at Nigeria Info FM, Kids FM, and Cool FM. Yes, come to the studios. The star prize here will be 2 million naira for the winner. The first runner-up will be walking away with 1 million naira, and the second runner-up will be going away with 500,000 naira. All entries for the competition close on Friday, the 7th of February 2025 rather. And of course, Children Can Sing is all about producing great future singers from today.
Star 347 star 880 star 3 hash. You know that one, right?
Yes. Star 347 star 880 star 3 hash. That is the code standing between you and your share of what is over 200k today. All you have to do is dial that code or go to the website at www.oneplay.ng. Yes, www.oneplay.ng. Once you do that, your tickets will be in the draws. Now, do note that you will be required to part with the paltry sum of 500 naira per ticket. That means that each ticket you play will cost you 500 naira. You can play as many as 10 times. You can play as little as the one time. Whichever you are cool with is cool with us. Whichever you choose to dance with is fine with us. Now remember, you're not just playing for the weekly gains. You are playing for what we call the weekend jackpot, 500k large. Yes, you play during the week, you dial the code star 347 star 880 star 3 hash, you qualify automatically for the weekend jackpot. And also remember, you have to be above the age of 18. Even so, as you are above the age of 18, that is, you should be playing responsibly. Remember, playing responsibly is playing with only what you can afford to part with. That said, keep playing the game and keep listening to The Sunny Side.
All right, so let's see, where do I go? WhatsApp. A Skype caller has to give me a moment, all right? Thank you so much for calling. 40 minutes past, so we're 20 minutes shy, 2 p.m. I want to read this and let all Nigerians hear because you may want to agree or disagree with this one. And here it goes. Do Nigerians think mining of gold started under Buhari? Do Nigerians think budget padding started under Buhari? There are many things Buhari's administration revealed but could do nothing about. The moment Buhari gave up, he stopped going to the UK for treatment. Wasn't there a time Buhari said Rat was in Asorok so he could be working from home? I'm not sure the import of that's the gist, but I'll just continue. Rats in the villa. Okay, I'm not sure what you're trying to link here, but I'll just finish your message. Buhari was helpless. Nigerians lack the ability to discern, so they follow blindly. These people only gave or give us topics to discuss every week, and we don't fail to fall for the hocus pocus, lavishing vocabulary and displaying intellectual prowess while they continue to plunge the country into further decay. Joyce, do you even know we are more interested in talking about the rotten fruit and not the rotten roots or tree? Nigeria was designed to be where, what, and the way it is. We are so defeatist. Okay, so you say we're defeatist and pessimistic. So we are looking up to optimists who believe they can build a rice mill with a grain of rice. Joyce, motion has Oshomole moved in the Senate on this issue. They just want to have a topic to talk about. Oshomole is not getting his share. Okay, so some sentences a little, I kind of get it. I think I assume I understand the import. You're saying that Oshomole is only speaking because he doesn't or isn't getting a share. So in the event that he may be getting a share, he probably may not have raised this. But even worse, what do you want Nigerians to do? Because you say here the Nigerians are only just talking. I guess you tell us what you think we should do. All right. So Matt's on Skype. Thank you so much. We're live streaming. We're on YouTube. Nigeria Info FM. I'm reading your commentary on this one, particularly because at this point, this is no longer a secret. What you think it is exactly what it is. My name's Joyce. Hello, Skype caller. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, Joyce.
That's me. Who are you?
Yeah, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Matt from UK.
Welcome,
So this topic is it's a very, very, very grievous one, like happening. So I have this cousin that happens to work with the police, and then so he said something. So he called me sometime. We were just talking, and then I just asked, "Oh, okay, how is the job going up? The risk?" And so he said, "Very risky and dangerous." So there was this time they got a call, some call to say there are some illegal miners in the forest. I think it was somewhere around the southwest. And then they went open, because it's supposed to be a kind of a plus to them. This squad actually, got rid of this and caught these people. But trust me, he said when they got there, that they could not even get close, about 1,000 meters. That these guys have got radars around these mining sites. That no matter what, that they were there for days, like 3 whole days, trying to see what they could do to get in. But unfortunately, they could not. So for that 3 days, choppers, helicopters kept coming in, landing and taking off. And guess what? They got back, reported to their superiors, and they were expecting something to be like a reinforcement. He said till the day he was speaking to me, nothing came up. So in his conclusion, he says it's not possible for government, for federal government, whoever, the president, the senators, it's not possible for them not to know what's going on in the bushes of Nigeria. This illegal mining thing is a pure racket. Yes, it involves foreigners, Chinese, and so, Oshomole is saying is really making sense. But again, like the last caller said, we don't know if it's because he's not getting his share. But I said something when we talk about Nigeria. I said something that a president. I don't know if Nigerian presidents don't know the enormous power they've got to deal with situations like this, except if the president has a hand and doesn't want the country to move forward. Otherwise, we've seen it in Rwanda, we've seen it in this current military regime of
I may have lost you, right? Probably. Thank you. I've lost you. I want to thank you so much for calling in. 99.3 Nigeria Info, you on the sunny side. Hello and welcome to you. What's your name?
Hello, good afternoon.
Nigeria Info, tell us your name. Go ahead, I lost you too. The sunny side. My name's Joyce. What's your name? I sincerely do apologize. Sorry about that. Hello, the sunny side.
Hello?
I'm with you. Thank you so much for calling.
Yes, I've been calling to wrap up my thoughts. Emeka is my name.
Okay, real quick, Emeka, please go ahead.
Yes, so like I was saying, the last caller was making the same point that the President of Nigeria, by provisions of the Constitution, has enormous powers if he wants to use them. The state apparatus is at his disposal. So if he has that will, he will be able to get it done. But again, we must understand that most people have also avowed, you must not be a part of the establishment in order to take down the establishment. Because this establishment, look at what you mentioned about capital flight. You know what that means? Okay. It means that this country let's describe it as a state captured, a state that has been captured. We have some people now who now sponsor terrorism all over the place because of the money they generate illicitly from this country. So for us to fix this country, it must go beyond the government, because like Oshoman who is speaking is a member of the Senate. What are the powers? What are the functions of the Senate? What is the function of the National Assembly? The oversight function, to what extent have they been able to use such powers? So the people must wake up, because at the end of the day, we are the ones suffering. Those resources are being carted away in form of capital flight out of the country, are also used again to dislodge the locals who occupy that land where these resources are. The people must rise up. They must go to their representatives. They must do the needful to ensure that the right thing is done. And until we have somebody who's not a part of the establishment, who has no skeleton in his cupboard, only then can we fix this country. In the absence of that, let's practice true federalism. Let there be resource control. Let there be regional development. Let every region develop at their own pace. Let's see if people, the locals of that region, will keep quiet and allow foreigners. Imagine Chinese violating our airspace to come into mine. What does that tell you? Do we still have security?
Yeah, but so I think the active word, I don't think the word is violation, because they get permits to come in. You see that. So I don't think they're violating your airspace.
Well, yeah, yes, they may get permit, but yes, we cannot establish that. But we know that for them to come in, for a chopper to cross your airspace and land, of course, they must have gotten clearance. People will pretend they don't know all this, and it's happening. So tomorrow you hear that Chinese government are giving us billions of aid, they're giving us billions of loan and all that. Meanwhile, they know where they're recouping from. So the question we're asking ourselves, the president, is he really in charge of the country? Are they international organizations? Are they some kind of, what would I call it, a mafia organization outside this country that are actually dictating the pace of what happens in this country? The $1 million question for us also.
Thank you so much for calling. I do appreciate it. A few years ago, maybe early last year, there was a documentary that I watched. It was a documentary by Al Jazeera, and they were talking about capital flights out of Africa. And they stated that what leaves Africa is nothing. So they say what they give us in aid, what they give to Africa in aid is nothing compared to what leaves Africa. So basically put, they take more from us, which you never see on television, than give us something that you see on television. So basically your understanding is these guys are good. They always keep giving us loans and borrow us money and writes off our debts. If only we knew what leaves here, what leaves Africa. 99.3 Nigeria Info. The sunny side, my name's Joyce. Welcome. What's your name?
Hello, good afternoon, guys.
Thank you so much for being here.
You have Hamed Kuti from our.
Good to have you.
Joyce, do you really think these people in power stealing our wealth, our money, do you think they are untouchable?
I don't know. At this point, Dele Alake appears to not know. Dele Alake feels like they are untouchable.
Joyce, these people are so visible. If Nigerians are ready, these people, they are so visible. I don't know. Well, we are not ready.
You think
Nigerians are not ready.
Okay.
If we are ready, we know what to do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The sunny side. Welcome to Nigeria Info. Hey.
Joyce.
Thank you for being here. What's your name?
Good afternoon. This is Usman for Balade.
Good to have you, Usman. Thank you for calling.
Nigeria. What did that for Nigeria? I know this small thing. See, please, you go find what did Donald Trump talk, last week. I don't know.
Okay.
He said, they asked and said, why did he invite out Africa leader, out Africa president? He said Africa get independent over 50-something years ago. Look at Africa. He said what they are there make the people poor. Man, I said Donald Trump. People don't really like that man. I don't know why. He said Africa get independent 50-something years ago. Look at Africa. They don't make their citizens poorer. Please stop and check that video when you play for Nigeria here.
Okay.
And second,
okay.
See, all those things, all now, China is mining our gold inside the forest. Can Nigeria enter China, mine their gold in China? Yeah? This, so that I have to say, I say all these criminals, they are bigger than Nigeria. I'm telling the truth. All those people, all those criminals, they are the charge of Nigeria. So forget about the president, the Senate, all those things. The criminal and the people that rule this country. And they tell the truth.
All right.
The other day, they give a body list of terrorists, as also terrorists. The body come out there. He didn't mention anybody's name. That means that the people that are bigger than the country. Nobody can do anything. This Nigeria is a country.
It is.
Just look at
functioning.
The other one is mentioned. They are mad. Okay, you are telling me. So let me go arrest them. Okay, as soon as tell me say general they are report of the money of gold. Okay, as they tell me now, let me go arrest them. I bet me they go sit down for one side. This country is messed up. Nobody can feed this country. Even God don't even leave Nigeria for them. Even God not come out for Nigeria. So everybody just face your life. Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling. I really do appreciate the Sunny Side Nigeria info. My name's Joyce. What's your name? If you can hear me, that is. Okay. Hello. How are you? Are you ready?
Good afternoon.
Afternoon to you. Welcome to the Sunny Side.
Yeah, is that Nigeria info?
It is.
Yeah, you're speaking with Mr. Fuchi.
Welcome. Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm a geologist.
Okay.
And this topic so much concerns me because I have a vast knowledge on what has been happening in the mine. I mined for good 20 years.
Okay.
You see, 20 years. I'm a geologist, and I'm a mining geologist for that matter. You see, the issue of illegal mining has to do with vested interest. When we're mining in Oyo North, my former company, HMY International Mining Company, we were the pioneer. I and some of my group geologists personally explored all the other granites within Oyo. Particularly, let me mention Ikomu under Itesuwachi local government in Oyo State. While we're mining, after 8 years, when a governor, I will not mention it because I'm on radio, came in to office as the governor for your state, he had a vested interest. And the director of solid mineral in Oyo State then was asked to revoke our license. I was one of those who applied for the license. We had the calendar. And when this very fellow, this very governor, because he formerly had a mining company which was moribund, he wanted to go into gemstone exploitation. And he knew already explored those areas, and we've already, we call it winning. We started winning. He wanted to take over that because his vested interest. They are not all our documents. And that was what we have to leave the site. That was how I relocated to Lagos.
Pardon me, you relocated to Lagos from where, please?
From Oyo State.
All right. Okay.
We were working here. Because our company was no longer operational.
Yeah.
Because that was our major site. We were mining all of Ikomu. We mined there all the other granites because you see, gemstones are embedded in other granites. The one that I find in the southwest here. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So all the other granites within Oyo is blessed with solid mineral. What is it called solid mineral? Let me not mention names. Tourmaline, Tokos, anthracite, many of them are there. Now, because of currently the one the Shomole is talking about, many of the senators right there with him, one of the ones that are also operating illegal mining. Because they have vested interest. What does it take you? All you need is to get to Ministry of Solid Mineral, where Alake is headed. Go to what is Alake? If Alake is geology, how can you appoint a mass communication person into Ministry of Solid Mineral? It has been like that from 1999. Or Passenger appointed as Assistant Doctor. First, again, who was a lawyer. What does he know about mining? What does he know about the elimination of Nigerian mining sectors?
Well, that
Look,
doesn't... Okay. Okay. Well, I don't know that that's even more of the problem. I think the corruption is more of the problem here.
Not really the corruption, my sister. The problem is if you put the right person in the right place, he will know the fundamentals on how to go about ministry. First of all, Nigeria is less to solid naira, and the laws are there on how to obtain mining lease, exploration, prospecting. Prospecting license does not give you automatic right to mine. It only gives you right to prospect for minerals. But tell me, before Alake was please.
Yeah, Alake is hardly the problem here. I know. I think I understand. Maybe Alake is also part of the problem. I'm just saying that. Or I think what we should focus on is the corruption in the system. I don't know that Alake is solely responsible for what we're talking about, because he was the one who even came out to tell us that there's illegal mining going on. Strong Nigerians are the ones who's heading it, and even worse, foreigners are in there. So I guess Alake may have found himself, boxed in a corner, not being able to do something about something he would like to do something about. Do you understand?
Look, my sister, there's law, and the Minister of Solid Mineral has a particular power to prosecute every illegal miner. Let me tell you.
Why do you think he's not doing that? Why do you think he may not be able or capable to do that?
Yes, because many of the politicians have vested interest.
Okay.
How do people get to power? We all know. That is the problem we're having. When there is no justice, you can't get this thing done. If you want to prosecute illegal miners, we know all of them. The permanent secretaries in the ministry, most of them are culpable. That is the truth. And the directors.
I appreciate.
Now, my sister, have you asked yourself, why is it that the law for solid mineral in Nigeria is different from the law guiding liquid hydrocarbons in my area in Niger Delta? States can invest in solid mineral. Why you cannot invest in liquid hydrocarbons? Have you not asked yourself, have they received that law? We have issues here because of politicians as our problem.
Help me out here. Can you give me one difference, one variance in the law that you think applies somewhere and doesn't apply in Delta, or applies in other places where they mine and doesn't apply in Delta? One example, please. I need to understand what you're trying to import. Have I lost you? I may have. I have. Well, he provides us a fair insight into, at least from his own perspective, and he speaks solely on vested interests. And so maybe it's not just the foreign players or the seeming quote-unquote non-state actors. It's that even the state actors may have vested interests, and as such, probably makes this practically impossible to contend with, to fight, or even to curb. Maybe we're not going to be able to truly confront the issue if those who are supposed to confront the issue have vested interests. I mean, you just heard a sitting senator tell you that retired military generals have vested interests. So it just makes our lives a lot more complicated, because who do you call in when you need, men on ground to deal with issues as this? We're 20 seconds away from 2 p.m. Thank you. We're off on a break. We'll be right back. Our doctor is in the studio. And I guess this conversation, given that it's a moving one, would wait for either Dilly or the president to say something about the issue. And if we don't hear anything, you're Nigerian enough to know why. We're off on a break. We'll be right back. My name's Joyce.
Information.
The federal government is telling Nigerians that 603 persons.
Sports and more.
What a weekend we saw between the big El Clasico.
Your number one station for talk.
If news is your quest, or gist your request, well, somewhere over your rainbows.
Over your rainbow.
Is the sunny side.
They better know it.
With Joyce.
Let's talk. What's that station again?
Oh yeah, Camo, go back. Here's one thing you need to know about yourself. So like here we did talk.
Yep. Bullseye. That's the one.
You're listening to 99.3 Nigeria Info's The Sunny Side. The Sunny Side. Welcome. My name's Joyce. by gold diggers, tunneling through the mishaps and the handicaps.
I don't know what to cook for them. I don't know what to give them to eat. That is the issue at hand as I speak right now.
In the name of the good, we hope to earn the truth and be worth our weight in salt.
Every night, every lad and there, we will hear 1 million boys, 2 million boys, 3 million boys. Just for one people, people wouldn't have no money. They're supposed to plan it to go where people can follow you. Everybody can follow you, both the rich and those poor.
The Sunny Side with Joyce.
The Sunny Side with Joyce.
Weekdays 12 to 3 p.m. on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
I want to thank each and every one of you for calling. I want to thank those who sent in messages. I want to appreciate the insights you have laid in over the conversation or over the topic, because what happens is that this forces us to not just talk today, but also to follow the news and find out what happens. I think we all pretty much have a comprehension of what the problem is, and the consequence of the government's inability to deal with the issue forces the government to overtax, double tax, and consistently make lives of the common man harder. I wanted to consider another conversation, but we'll do that tomorrow. NLC, Nigeria Labour Congress, is asking Nigerians to reject tariff. They say reject this tariff, which is, of course, telecom's tariff. And this is one of the many things and now has been impacted by the Naira devaluation. And I guess you can tell because you are a witness to your own reality when you look at how inflation is affecting the Naira. Because given what we know so far, capital flights out of this country could fund the Nigerian budget easily. Like what leaves this country can fund the Nigerian budget. But if the government has found itself arm-tied for whatever reason, whether they didn't start it but they can't finish it, they're dealing with strong men whom they can't look in the eye, or maybe they have vested interest for whatever reason where the government fails to deal with the issue, the consequence is what the Nigerian people have been complaining about, will continue to complain about until something is done. I want to say thank you very much. We have to go to another conversation this very moment. It's 3 minutes past 2 p.m. My name's Joyce. We're off on a break. We'll be right back. When we come back, NAFDAC has put some ban on a number of products. But this one product, and I guess my singular focus is not on this. I would say my focus would be on what we are consuming and fully unaware of the dangers of what we're consuming. You may say, well, there are no alternatives. Hopefully the doctor may be able to help us out with what alternatives there are. Or maybe we are now left with the burden to interrogate our own senses and intelligence and come up with an alternative. I'm a little lazy even just saying it. But yeah, I mean, if your option is sickness that could lead to death, then maybe every man must arise to the occasion of being responsible and the first doctor in his own health. Nigeria Info. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
What's that again?
Oh yeah, Camo, come
No.
Here's one thing you need to know about yourself. So like here we did talk.
Yep, bullseye. That's the one.
You're listening to 99.3 Nigeria Info's The Sunny Side.
The Sunny Side.
Welcome. My name's Joyce.
The Sunny Side, and I'm inviting a very interesting human. Just a very interesting human. If you know him, or at least you may have heard him on Nigeria Info. But oh, sir, you can't hear me? Let's see. Is this better? Can you hear me, sir? This is good? All right. So we find him interesting. One, not just his knowledge, which is, of course, his field of knowledge, but it's also the fact that he's been able to step outside conventional education to seek what healing is and separating healing from what medicine is or what he was told medicine is and what medicine should be. 5 minutes past 2 p.m. Nigeria Info, The Sunny Side. It is my pleasure to welcome Dr. Patrick Ijewere.
Joyce, good afternoon. Greetings to Lagos and beyond.
And a happy new year to you, sir.
Thank you.
A naturopathic
too.
doctor. I mean, first you're a pharmacist, and you were a first pharmacist.
Chemist,
Chemist?
pharmacist,
Pharmacist.
physician.
Physician. Okay. So you know we're not talking to a greenhorn, right? And this is, peradventure, this is the first time you're getting to meet Dr. Patrick on Nigeria Info. All right. I thought this topic was necessary because this is just one of many. In fact, I would say I think what we call the goods in the supermarket, or what we call food that we buy from supermarkets, are not necessarily food. They're actually products. And so psychologically, I'm beginning to re-engineer my thinking to not necessarily call it food, but to call it product. And so because it's a product, there is, quote unquote, an unseen form of engineering that makes it appetizing to me as a consumer. Remember, if it's in the supermarket, now this is nothing against supermarkets. It's more the creators of the product and who they're targeting, why they're targeting that person or that consumer. And I would say what the issues may have been or still are, given that the consumer like myself has found those alternatives easier and within reach, affordable, I guess I can say that. And even more concerning would be having no other having no other alternative that may feed the same need. You kind of get what I'm trying to paint here. Because we have, quote unquote, we've been civilized into thinking that one proof of civilization would be all the modern amenities. If it's modern, if you have cable, okay, you're in the city. You use a smartphone, you're in the city. You eat a certain kind of food. It's almost a determinant of class ranking. Yeah, so you eat a certain type of food. Oh well, you have to be in that class to be able to afford that quote unquote food. But is it food or product? So I want to give the doctor an opportunity to properly lay out this jumbled thought, because I think doctor, that you would be the best person to help simplify it for the comprehension of the Nigerian listener and to understand why this is important. You call it food, but is it food or product? So Dr. Patrick, please go ahead.
Greetings again. You've touched on several aspects of this defining line between food and product. And one of the larger spheres is the mindset programming.
Mindset programming, exactly.
I recall growing up, and it was almost shameful to admit that you eat amala at home. We would happily say we ate spaghetti. We would happily say we ate cornflakes. So even at that early age, there was some degree of relegating your ancestral food, your native food, to no, it's not good. Don't say it. We're not there. We're over here. The other part that they didn't tell us was these products, amongst those who used it, which are the affluent Westerners, was causing certain health issues. And so too often we're sold half the picture. We're sold the glamour. We're sold the
prestige of
it, and not the facts of it. And it pervades every aspect of our lifestyle, from the personal care products to the foods and even the healing or medicinal products. And sad to say, or brilliant for those who push this perspective, is they've developed not only a marketing system, they developed a professional system of education that perpetuates this mindset and thinking.
Is another way to call it miseducation?
Miseducation, brainwashing.
Half-truths, false education.
Yeah, yes.
Deception.
I mean, I was at a meeting yesterday with other doctors who are stepping outside of the square box of
conventional medicine.
And the issue of, vaccinations came up. And this doctor was brilliant the way he explained it. He said the average physician is cowered into an intimidating box of thought that whatever he speaks must align with what his
It's in
senior
the textbook.
The textbook, senior doctor, the most senior doctor, and the professor. And he said, and who does the professor have 49 my book? And we paused for a moment. He said, most of us physicians trained in that line are too scared or too frightened to think outside, to challenge that whole hierarchy in the medical system. It was troubling because we have a problem that we need to address urgently. The pushing of these vaccines into the country. The average doctor doesn't know what is inside the vaccine package.
Are you quoting a doctor? You're quoting a physician?
Yes, we're a group of us physicians yesterday who were having this discussion. Yes.
Can I see whether I understand your last statement? A physician yesterday did say that you guys who are medically qualified do not know the contents in some of the medications that you give to the public.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. I dare anyone to take the package insert of any medication. The average physician probably hasn't seen it or hasn't seen it in the longest time.
Deliberate oversight.
All of the above. Deliberate oversight, training, them trust in the system.
Trust in the system.
Yeah, and it's a darn good system. So, coming to your introduction about healing versus medicine. We need to get our thought process back in healing and out of medicine. Some aspects of healing require medicine. A lot of it doesn't, because the body is designed as a perfect system to heal itself.
You sound like a rebel when you say that. A rebel against an institutionalized system that has aimed to program our dependency on medicine. And so as a physician, when you say that, as a pharmacist, when you say that, you have become a rebel against instituted philosophy, quote-unquote, authority.
True. I was proudly a vocal proponent of that system when I had just finished training, although I had some little
misgivings,
misgivings within. And then I met certain people, doctors themselves, some not physicians, who just exposed a whole other thinking, and the four walls of my cell just collapsed. And since then, I'm happy to talk about healing over medicine.
And the difference is what exactly?
Healing is what God created. So what we need for healing is around us. The body has healing mechanisms that are working 24/7 to keep us in that wellness space, in that healthy space. Medicine are synthetics made by man to control the healing process, not to return you back to the original state, especially for chronic ailments, but to maintain you in a dependency state on the medicines. Now, I would always break it up. There's some aspects of medicine that, yes, help you get back to the original state, whether it's traumatic surgery, use of antibiotics, short term.
Painkillers.
I won't add painkillers to that category.
Oh, really?
As a pharmacist, we know what's in those painkillers and we know how they work.
Oh, but then so when you're done with this, I would like for you to touch on that, because I think Nigerians pop painkillers like they are popping popcorn.
Yes, it's part of the marketing strategy.
Oh, that sounds like a whole lot, like a different conversation all by itself. So I'll just wait for you to finish this one, and then we go into that.
So healing is really what the earth is designed to do for us, its children. Remember that we come out of the earth. Everything here in this protoplasm comes out of the earth.
Yeah.
So what should heal or repair this also should come out of the earth. And in God's design, the body is always healing itself. Whether you have a small cut or you have an irritating bowel that causes you to have some loose stools, it's healing itself. You swallow something or inhale something, you cough it out, it's healing itself. You have a small fever, the microbes, your macrophages and your other immune cells are doing their work. it's always healing itself. And sometimes it gives messages that it needs certain things to help the healing process, such as, I need some water. You feel lightheaded, drink some water. You have a headache, drink some water. So healing is a full circle of God's design, humanity, and the earth. Medicine is an attempt to control that process with synthetics.
I like the way you put that. So medicine practically just interrupts the healing process. But we're told that it pretty much helps us heal. I mean, that's how it's marketed to us. And we have formed our dependency off of that. So now you're saying we have to undo that miseducation and begin to re-engineer new kinds of education in order to help us live better, live healthier with less side effects, because not much is even said, I think lately, but that happens in Europe. It doesn't happen a lot in Nigeria. It happens in Europe a lot. It happens in America. It happens in the West, actually, where they tell you, take this medication, it fixes a headache, possible side effects, then they list 30 things. And it's on television. They tell you, you can have this. And I remember one time I tried counting. I counted 20 something possible side effects. So it's like, then I'm worse off taking your pills. And I think they started doing that because of lawsuits.
Correct.
That their medication was causing side effects, and so one way they had to get away from lawsuits was to to advertise the side effects alongside the medication you were buying, so they could avoid lawsuits.
So they'll spend a whole minute and a half advertising the medication and showing you nice
things that the medication can do.
And then in 10 seconds, they list the 26 side effects at the end of the advert.
I thought that was psychologically funny in a weird way. Because how am I trying to cure one thing and your drug exposes me to 26 other things, so 30 other possible conditions that I have to come back to you to buy your medication for?
It's an awesome business system.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Genius,
There's this recent revelation,
Oh.
or at least understanding. There's a popular drug on the market. It's an injectable drug for weight loss.
Ozempic. Ozempic is as popular as our biggest superstar.
And they're called GLP inhibitors.
Okay.
Now, about 15, 20 years ago, maybe 30 years ago, companies in the US forced the FDA, I wouldn't say force. Let's say somehow got the FDA to approve certain sweeteners on the market.
Mm-hmm. Artificial sweeteners?
Yes.
Okay.
These sweeteners they stimulate this system so that you actually add the weight. And here we are 15, 20 years later, they've brought other products to undo what those ones do to help you lose the weight.
Let me go back a little bit. The sweeteners that who did you say got the FDA to approve it?
Oh, the companies that manufacture.
The companies, right?
Yes,
got the FDA to approve sweeteners.
Yes.
And the side effects of those sweeteners was to make you add weight. So basically, the side effects of those sweeteners have a direct effect on the chart whenever we're looking at obesity.
Yes.
That's a yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So now, this world is dealing with a high, consistent rising obesity rate.
Yes.
And they have created solution for the problem they created.
Bingo.
America the Great.
It's a brilliant smart.
Like just a bunch of evil geniuses. Someone even told me that we have Ozempic in Nigeria. Someone said she walked into a supermarket and she had someone say, "You want Ozempic?" And I thought it would be controlled, given. But I hear originally Ozempic is for obesity. Actually, am I right or wrong? Did I hear right?
Diabetes.
Oh, pardon me, diabetes. Huh?
And if you take time to read up the history of Ozempic, the original source of that chemical structure is an amphibian creature.
I don't like the smile on your face. Bring the gist, Doc, so that people who've been fancying Ozempic.
GIL, it's a gila lizard.
Okay.
That's the venom.
Oh, it's a venom from a lizard.
Yeah.
That's used to reduce body. That's used to create Ozempic.
It causes, I won't use the word just paralysis, but it causes an impediment. It impedes certain functions in the bowel system.
Okay.
Of which it's like a paralysis. And so absorption of certain foods is interfered with, and you excrete them out. So it's a synthetic version of that natural venom.
And that's what helps you obtain the objective of losing weight.
Yes.
But now you have created another possible side effect.
Absolutely, you have.
Where your bodies are not absorbing the necessary natural nutrients that it needs for...
Yes. And one of the side effects that is being understood clearly, and we've seen it clinically, is
Ozempic?
muscle wasting, loss of muscle mass.
Bring it. What does that say?
If one takes time to research the side effects of using Ozempic,
yeah,
one of the intermediate side effects is muscle protein loss. And so if you see the client, you can see from the figure before they began, and let's say 12 months later, where the muscle deposits, natural muscle deposits, have begun to atrophy or lose.
Wow.
Loss. That's typical of medicine. Whereas if you took the natural approach, the natural healing approach to weight loss, the entire body heals from hair to toe. And not only will you lose the weight or come out of and reverse the diabetes, you reverse other problems that were in the pipeline.
As a consequence of having diabetes.
As a parallel of having diabetes.
As a parallel of having diabetes.
The same underlying cellular mechanism that causes diabetes to occur in the pancreas is also causing other problems in other organ systems. As a result, we may not, if you approach diabetes and attempt to reverse it naturally, you approach it from a mechanism perspective.
Which is possible. I think we need to underscore that.
We're doing it. We're doing it every week.
Reversing diabetes.
Absolutely.
Okay, go ahead.
About 15, 20 years ago, there was a study that came out. I'll recall the doctor's name shortly, where he took about 8 people who had diabetes for a 30-day program.
Yeah.
Intense 30-day program. And most of them had the diabetes reversed. It's not a big secret anymore. A lot of institutes are doing this across the world. Japan, Hungary, in the US, Mexico, and we're doing it here in Nigeria too. And it's a natural approach. The side effect of it is not only does it reverse the diabetes, but every other element that's shared the similar underlying mechanism is reversed. So if you were, let's say,
that's a miracle. Is that a better interpretation for what a miracle can be?
It's a healing miracle. It's how the body heals. It heals in totality.
It's brilliant. It's beyond brilliant, really. And so we are denied the benefits of this one easy, cheaper access to the food versus the body chemistry to heal, and sold something to. By the way, I'm going to go from the break. When I come back, I want to tell you what Ozempic is, in case you're wondering what it is. Yeah. Well, maybe the doctor should even have the pleasure of that, but we're going to quickly go from the break. We'll be right back. We're Nigeria Info.
More conversation, more talk, more right after this.
This is Ireti Bakare Yusuf, the host of Borderlines. First and foremost, it's been a whole year of the new show, Borderlines. We've covered several global issues, and we will continue to cover even more. Now, if you have any suggestions regarding Borderlines, whether it's how you want us to be better, what you want us to change, it'll be an interesting thing to learn from you. We will be most appreciative if you could share it with us. You will have to go to any of the Borderlines posts. Borderlines on YouTube at Nigeria Info 99.3, on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos, on Facebook, we post all the Borderline posts there, and also on Twitter, which is now called X. Just go there in the comment section, put your suggestions suggestions, and honestly, we're going to review as many of them as possible. If you like, you can hashtag borderlines, all right? And if there's a story that you had been wanting us to cover, global events, global news, that's what we talk about. Until then, have a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous new year. Bye-bye. All the best.
Meals have a way of taking us on a journey. And when you add plenty of vegetables like efo, ugu, and season with the rich taste of Knorr seasoning cubes, even better.
So, go ahead and elevate your meals with more vegetables and the rich taste of Knorr cubes. Today, eat for good.
Welcome back to your number one talk, news, and sports station. This is Nigeria Info.
You're on the sunny side. We're 99.3. This is Nigeria Info. My name's Joyce.
What's that station again?
Oh, yeah, Camo, come
No.
Here's one thing you need to know about yourself. So, like, here we talk.
Yep, bullseye. That's the one.
You're listening to 99.3 Nigeria Info's The Sunny Side.
The sunny side.
Welcome. My name's Joyce.
We're back. The doctor's with us, Dr. Patrick Ejewere. And we're trying to separate product from food, and I think we have all formed a habit, in fact, I would say a psychological defense for our consumption of products, our use of products versus less use of food. So we call product food, but in essence, it's not food. It's product. And so there is a mechanism that goes into production to make it 1, appetizing, 2, enchanting, 3, you're a return customer. And now we're hoping to, beyond the marketing facade, beyond what we're told the benefits are, pry into the consequence of the consumption of it, or the use or uses of those products. 29 minutes past 2 p.m. My name's Joyce. So, Doc, I wanted you to tell people what Ozempic is, because I think some people know, some have an idea, others don't. Just simple summary of what it is.
The original formulation was found by a brilliant scientist who was doing work on certain kinds of lizards in the U.S. And a particular kind of lizard that's called a GILA, the Gila monster lizard. It had a poisonous venom that, interestingly, had a molecular structure that stimulated a hormone that caused insulin secretion through a receptor that's called a GLP-1, glucagon-like protein receptor 1.
Thank you. Yeah, the reason I'm saying thank you is because this is the second discovery I'm making on the use of venom in medicine for human consumption. So apparently I am on, let me see, this is University of Queensland, and they have a research, and I think you should maybe through Google just go through venom Ozempic. It should just take you there, and you would pretty much have a very sketchy idea. So apparently, since human cloning began, scientists, chemists, this one says he is, a gastroenterologist, have been cross-engineering human genes and animal genes. If that don't piss you off, you still don't know what we're talking about. Okay, but we'll just let that hang in there for a moment. And I want to quickly just jump, because we have time and we must show some management excellence with time in order to get the best out of it. NAFDAC recently banned Nivea. Nivea is a deodorant. I think a handful of Nigerians consume deodorants. In fact, you're even advised to use it to reduce the scent that emerges from perspiration. And I think this is one way, this is one proof of hygiene. That's also the funny thing, right? Because except we're looking for answers, we don't know that maybe there's a lot more that goes into hygiene. Maybe first we begin with the kind of food you eat, the kinds of food you eat, because cleaning yourself is one of many other ways by which we can capture the word hygiene or cleanliness. But I guess in civilization and modern history, we're just told, well, have your shower, use deodorant so you don't smell, and come out smelling fresh as the sun. Well, fresh as daylight. And at least you can say you're clean without being politically wrong. Except then, well, thank God for NAVDAC, right? You also have to ask yourself, and that's exactly where we are at the moment. These products that we consume, why is this a conversation? So we'll just take Nivea as an example, right? We're going to look at, so NAVDAC banned, and I think this happened November 1st, 2024. Doc, you want to reach for something? Do you have okay. So November 1st, 2024, it was reported NAVDAC, National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, alerted Nigerians to the recall of Nivea. Now, this is me I'm not poking Nivea singularly. I'm just saying that this has happened throughout history. And whether it's happening in your country or happening outside your country, these things happen where the company releases it, and then something happens that threatens a lawsuit, and then the company has to recall product. Sometimes even cars have been recalled due to some engineering faults, or you kind of get the picture. Okay, good. So we're just on this one. So Nivea, black and white, invisible roll-on deodorant, 50 ml, labeled as providing 48-hour protection in African climes. And if you're in, I hate heat. Well, I don't like it. I think it doesn't let my brain breathe, so I don't like it. I don't know the benefits of heat. I haven't quite figured it out yet. I'm not there. Maybe because I don't like it, I haven't found the benefits, but I don't like it. So something is this, if you're anything like me, something like this is a very good marketing gimmick to ensure that, okay, so if you don't break into sweats, at least you can still remain fresh and something can help you with that objective. So imagine a deodorant that gives you 48 hours protection from perspiration. They need not even convince you with any other piece of information, because that's a bloody good information. So Doc, you're aware of NAVDAC recalling this product and the reason for which NAVDAC demanded that the product be withdrawn. You want to pick up the conversation from there?
There are about 4 conversations from this. I applaud NAVDAC for doing this.
Yeah.
Long overdue. There's many other products in the market that need to follow
be
the
withdrawn.
same channel. Yes.
Oh, okay.
So we touched on hygiene, we touched on perspiration, we touched on these chemicals, we touched on 48 hours of blocking a natural pathway. All right. With hygiene, there's both
internal
hygiene
and external.
And external hygiene.
Okay.
Often we focus on external hygiene, i.e., I'm sweating, there's an odor, I want to stop the odor. Okay. Yes, just washing, bathing, all those things help reduce the external odor. Using products that prevent one of the causes of external odor, which is the bacteria and microbes in the axilla or other parts of the body. Excellent. Now, what do you choose to use? A natural option or synthetic chemical option? Keep in mind that perspiration, releasing liquid out of these pores, is a normal part of the body's healing mechanisms, cleaning mechanisms, sweating mechanisms, temperature control mechanisms, detoxing control mechanisms, detoxing mechanisms. And you now put things to block these mechanisms. Where do all those toxins go? They stay inside, and those accumulate and settle in tissues in the body. Some of the chemicals that are in these products have been found in cancer tissue, in breast tissue. So we must use common sense and scientific sense. If nature has given us these pathways to keep us healthy, if I block it, I'm going to cause unhealth or poor health. Are there better options? Yes, nature always gives options. Simple things which we talked about on this show before, whether it's lemon, whether it's lime, whether it's vinegar, whether it's baking soda, all the things are available for us to use for the external hygiene component. Let's ask ourselves, what about the internal hygiene? Anybody who's had a baby and breastfed the baby knows that that baby smells just so pure. When the baby uses the restroom, a baby who's been breastfed uses the restroom or poops, there's just about no odor to it. The moment you introduce formula, the baby's poop just goes off the charts.
Tell us, are you serious? Oh, is that what happens?
Breastfed babies, exclusively breastfed babies, when they poop, which is not much, there's little to no odor. Once you introduce the synthetic artificial food or the formula, the poop goes haywire in terms of the odor. When we have clients do what's called a 2 weeks detox and clear stuff out of their body, their poop suddenly has minimal to no odor. We call it clean eating. When they return to their usual food, the highly processed foods that take forever to clear through the bowel system or the
digestive tract,
the odor comes back in. Whatever odor you have coming out, the more intense the odor that you have coming out.
Yeah.
Understand the body is a holistic system. That channel also communicates with the skin. The skin is another channel of detoxifying the body, of releasing toxins from the body. So if the bowels are slowed down for whatever reason, it will put a phone call into the skin. Hey, I need some help here. Let out some of this stuff. So that putrefied odor that's in the bowel system finds its way out here. In other words, one of the causes of body odor is our internal mechanism.
What we eat.
What we eat and how will we process out what we eat.
So here you're saying this is a two-faced coin. So it's not just what you eat; it's also how your body or how you help your body process it out.
Yes.
And so if you eat something and then the processing out is poor, low, subpar,
your body odor will go up. Yes.
You know why it's necessary? Because these listeners, they're guilty. Because when they use the restroom, everybody has to leave. So now they know what the issue is.
Yes, ma'am. And I'm not telling this from textbook. I have done it to myself, and I do it to myself every now and then. 2-week interval, clean eating.
And what do you mean by that?
Things that slow the system down. Animal products, for instance. If you eat what comes out of the Garden of Eden for 2 weeks, I can assure you on by day 12, 13, 14, your bowel odor.
You're pure.
You're clean inside.
Okay, maybe clean is the better word. You're not pure. Okay. I want to go to the side effects of this. Oh, by the way, I think I must even state that this particular product, which NAFDAC concerns itself with, so Doc, you're going to help me. Doc, why are scientific names ridiculous? Why? Why? I mean, I thought philosophy was something. Science is just, the scientific names are just pure strain. Is it so that the non-scientific mind just stays away? Like, what is this? Okay, let's try it. You see in a moment what I mean.
Yes.
This
one.
Okay, you want to do us the honors, Doc? It's a whole sentence.
The recall product of Nivea was recalled because it contained 2(4) tert, butyl benzyl propionaldehyde, a chemical prohibited in cosmetic products due to its potential to cause harm to the reproductive system, impair the health of the unborn child, cause skin irritation, and burns to users.
2-4- tert, butyrylene, propionaldehyde.
It's
like, why?
It's a chemical nomenclature, the way we
Yeah.
name chemicals so that we can understand how the structure looks.
Oh, so you name because you're trying to hold the structure in the name.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And at least Lagos, the one that concerns you and I, if you're not too concerned about the name, because why get a headache? This fragrance ingredient is used in many compounds, decorative cosmetics, fine fragrance, shampoos, toilet soap, toiletries, and also non-cosmetic products such as household cleaners and detergents. And so this was used in that deodorant, that specific brand, and NAVDAC thought it was necessary to have it recalled because, ladies and gentlemen, it disrupts. So, Doc, now this is the other part of the conversation where your expertise needs to come in. It's classified as suspected to be harmful to fertility and possibly endocrine disrupting. So I think now you have to touch fertility, and I guess that's men and women, and then the possible disruption of the endocrine food chain or system.
In nature's design, we have this awesome system that involves, we call them hormones, and several other participants that give us, at the right time, we go through what's called puberty.
Okay.
At the right time, we start having certain features in the body, from hair growth to voice change, to certain other structural changes. And at the right time, we start producing these eggs or these things that help us create life for the next generation. Many things today, not just this product, interfere with this system. We call them, as a general group, endocrine disruptors.
Yeah.
Not only hormones, there are other factors that disrupt the hormonal system. And if they do, if you think of what that system does, it produces, in the men, sperm. In the women, eggs. In the women, that whole cycle, the estrogen progesterone cycle that we call the menses, that results in the monthly release, or in pregnancy. Pregnancy is a very hormonal dependent journey.
Yeah.
And so whatever can interrupt with this process will cause risk to not just the mother, but also the child. And as was mentioned by NAVDAC, this particular chemical also affects men. Today we're seeing rising rates of infertility. Sometimes in the past, we always blamed the woman, but today men are coming in with low sperm count to zero azoospermia, no sperm at all, or all the sperm are dead.
So you mean that there's no life in the liquid at this point?
Bingo. Yeah. There's no life in the liquid, correct.
What are these people doing to us?
What are we allowing these people to do to us? Somebody's supposed to be screening these things and helping us decide, should this come in or should this not come in?
Okay, so I think something necessary here. I've also heard parabens and
phthalates.
What's the other word? Phthalates or something?
PHTHA.
So it's not
phthalates.
Phthalates. PHTHALATE. I don't care. Please, I would love for you to explain. I think one of them is used in plastic. Let me quickly just check that out. In my head, I'm wondering why something that would be used in plastic is used in the products that humans must consume. So parabens, a group of compounds used in the preservation or used as preservatives in pharmaceutical products. So are we talking even pills here? Medicine.
Across the board, medicine and cosmetics. Across the board.
That's a crude oil base. That's a crude oil derivative, right?
Petrochemical derivative. Yes. Most of our synthetics are petrochemical derivatives. A lot of our medications, a lot of our vitamins, a lot of our cosmetic products, and the contents are petrochemical derivatives
that are chemically processed.
Yes, synthesized in the lab, and yes.
Okay, so you talk about that.
So this group of the parabens.
Oh, sorry. Just a minute. Lagos, we're going to quickly go off on a break. We'll be right back.
All right. Good day to you. If you're currently listening, I am Moses Dixon on behalf of CWIAK. And if you're wondering what that means, that simply means a Cool FM, Wazobia FM, Nigeria Info, Arewa, and Kids FM. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been joined today by some gentlemen from the Committee of Chief Information Security Officers of Nigerian Financial Institutions, or you can just say CCISO NFI. Good day to you.
Good day, and thank you for having us.
Good day.
And thank you for having us.
Definitely. My pleasure. Now, first things first, I want to start with the fact that we know that financial security is one of the most important kinds of security that anyone could possibly need, especially in this day and age with advanced technology. And I believe for every new level, there's a new devil. So how do we curtail these devils and how do we prevent them?
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.